Okay, here we are back out in the woods on one of the trails. I made a promise that a little bit over a year ago, if I tried some things and it helped my anxiety, that I would make a video and just see if I can help other people. So that's what this video's sole purpose is. Now I'm going to tell you what I did. May work for you. It should. But the methods that I used are not for, I'm not particularly promoting those things. That's not what I set out to do. But I know how powerful they are, and if it can help anybody overcome anxiety, then that's what I'm going to do. This is not a weight loss video. This is not a professional YouTube video with a camera crew. It's just me and my phone. So, there's going to be a lot of rambling and unpolished words. But I can promise you that it's going to be honest and sincere, because I'm in my 50s and I've been fighting anxiety my entire life. And in order for you to know where I've come, you have to know where I've been. And I'm just going to give you just a very brief summary, because I know you don't want to watch an hour-long video. Now I'll confess, if I find somebody that's helping me out, if their video lasts for 2 hours, I'll sit there and watch it if it's helping me. So most people on YouTube that do this for a living, I know they try to keep their videos around 10 minutes long, or whatever the case may be, but that's not the purpose of this video. So the anxiety that I have felt in my life started, I don't exactly know when it started, but I do know that when I was in the second grade, I had to take a little red nerve pill to school with me because my nerves were so bad. And I always hated that because I didn't see anybody else doing that. And then it just kept progressing throughout my life. Numerous other things all along the way. Every time I would go to the doctor and get checked out for stomach ache, whatever the case may be, they always said the anxiety is causing this. And these were different doctors. So I've been on some type of medicine for a very long time. Just to fast forward to when things started changing. This is February of 2020. December of 2018, my doctor, who is a very good friend of mine, called me and told me that I would no longer be able to get my anxiety medicine that I'd been on for 10 years. And up until now, I always thought that anxiety medicine worked great. And it did keep me from having severe anxiety attacks and severe panic attacks. But it really just masked something that was still there. It didn't make the anxiety necessarily go away. It was still in there. For example, if you hurt your wrist and you take some pain medicine, well, that injury is still in there, but you're not feeling it, but it's still there. And the anxiety was still there. And I didn't think it would ever go away. One thing I caution about making this video that I've really thought a lot about is the things I'm going to tell you they're unbelievable. I almost don't want to tell everything that has gone good for me in the past year because it just sounds too good to be true. The good thing is I'm not selling anything. I don't want anything. I'm giving you information that will help you. And, I've documented all of this. I'm not going to do a lot of flashing things up on the screen or that kind of thing. I'm just going to speak to you from the heart, and you take the information. So my doctor called me and told me that I can no longer get my anxiety medicine because drug abusers are getting prescriptions and selling it. So us people that really need it, we can't have it anymore. The only way to continue getting it is to constantly go to the doctor and take it on a very short-term basis, which is irrelevant to me. I need something it's like a diet. Oh, I'm gonna do this diet for 90 days. Well, what are you gonna do after that? You're gonna gain all the weight back. That's what you're gonna do. So a diet is no better than something that you can do the rest of your life, a lifestyle. Same thing with the anxiety. I don't need to mask it for 3 months. I need it to go away, or I need to keep it from coming back every day of my life because it's debilitating. So for 2 months after she told me that, I typically had a couple of bad panic attacks a year, and they were bad. I had lots of anxiety lots of times during the year, most of the time. And I was generally uptight person all the time. Well, those first 2 months that I couldn't have any medicine, I had 2 or 3 panic attacks a week. Well, by the time 7 or 8 weeks came around, I was just about to give up because they kept telling me there's nothing to replace that. That's as good as that medicine. There's a few things we could try, but they're probably not going to work, and all this kind of stuff. And I will say to you, I love my doctor, and she has my best interests in mind. I know for a fact because I was her friend long before she was even my doctor. But regardless, check your own requirements out, investigate things, learn, because you can help yourself better than somebody else can. But you can't do it without putting the effort into learning it. So I had a friend that had been telling me about the Wim Hof Method. And I'm hot-natured. Wim Hof Method, the 3 pillars of the Wim Hof Method is cold therapy, breathing techniques, and commitment. The universal response when you hear or when you tell somebody about cold therapy, oh, no, I can't do cold. You make it do cold, I can't do cold. Well, I didn't really care about the cold. But there's a certain amount of cold that affects anybody. I didn't start doing it. As a matter of fact, my friend Jeff, who I am forever grateful for, Jeff, if you're watching this, you're the man, and I appreciate everything, buddy. He told me for a year at least, you ought to try the Wim Hof Method. Well, finally, I was desperate. I had no medicine. I had no hope. I couldn't think of anything else to do. So I started the Wim Hof Method. And I could feel the difference in a week. But in a month of doing it, I thought, man, I've been doing this for a month now. That's a long time to commit to something, a month. You think about it. I'm not gonna have soft drinks for a month. Most people don't make it. But I made it a month. And I was feeling a difference. And I made it 2 months, and then I made it 3 months. Before I knew it, I had made me a little graphic that's on my Instagram account that says 6 months Wim Hof Method. I was so proud of that. And in 6 months, I was feeling pretty good. I'll admit to you. It doesn't take this forever to work. I mean, it'll start working instantly. It'll work that day. The first day you try it, you'll feel better. And it's kind of ironic because there's a lot of things that I've done in the past that hinted at this, but it never registered in my mind. I'm a former college athlete, so I've always iced my knees because they ache. Well, I'm icing the knees, and guess what? They feel better. Well, if ice will make your knees feel better, won't it make everything else feel better? You know, people don't relate to that, but it's true. So I started every morning doing a cold shower, no hot water. Just get in, turn the cold water on, and you don't shiver. There's lots of details. For this video, this is not a detailed explanation of the Wim Hof video, although I'm going to do one. Or you can go to Wim's YouTube channel, just W-I-M-H-O-F, Wim Hof. There's a link, or his name down in the description of this video. He has plenty of good videos to watch. He's a unique fella. Don't let that scare you. If I would have, there's no telling where I would be right now. Let me tell you a couple other benefits for this video just to get that out of the way. On February the 14th, I made my new graphic, 1 year on the Wim Hof Method. I have missed 1 day in a year. And in the last 4 months, I've had a family member that crashed a vehicle, that was in a trauma unit for 9 weeks, that is still in the hospital after 4 months. And that would have just torn me up if I wouldn't have had this to strengthen my mind with. But I hadn't missed a day in all of that. The other thing it's done for me, February the 14th of 2019, I weighed 295 pounds. I'm 6'3". I'm not a small fella. I've always been a good-sized fella, but I was always lean, you know. But 295 was just too much. I didn't do any of this to lose any weight. And the camera adds weight. Well, even when I was skinny, the camera added a ton of weight on me. So don't let your eyes fool you. I weighed in February the 14th. Just a couple days ago. And my 12-month Wim Hof Method weight loss, which again had nothing to do with what I was doing. But I weighed in 264.5. That's 30.5 pounds. I have not changed one thing that I eat at all. In the last month, I've been out on these trails walking some, but I had already lost 25 pounds before I ever started walking. So I've lost 5 more pounds walking, maybe. But I think I would have lost that anyway, because that was just the way things were going. But the walking, I do a 5-mile hike on these trails, and there's a lot of hills up and down, and it's pretty strenuous. I'll put a link to my Instagram account, and you can look at it. I GPS it. Tells me my pace, my miles, all that kind of stuff. But 30.5 pounds in a year, in 12 months, 30.5 pounds, without even trying. That's unbelievable. I'll tell you one other thing it did for me. I mentioned my knees aching. Well, all of my joints ache. When I'd be out working in the yard, I'd have to stop after an hour or so and go sit down for a little bit. I'd be wore out. And I took one of those bottles that you get at the store of Aleve. I would take 3 Aleve at a time. And in a year's time, I would take that whole bottle, and there's like 300 pills in a bottle, or 200 pills in a bottle, whatever it is. I didn't even realize this had happened to the other day. I have not taken any leave since about the 2 to 3 month period of doing the cold showers. No leave, no Tylenol, nothing for joint pain. And I can go outside and work in the yard as long as I want to. I didn't even realize that was happening. Just all of a sudden one day I thought, wow, I'm not hurting. Now at my age and all the sports that I played, I'm never going to be completely pain-free. But I'm going to tell you, I'm pretty good right now. And even as big as you see me on the video, and 265 and a half, or 264 and a half is still 30 pounds above my normal weight. But I was 295. I mean, I was right at 300 pounds. And I bet you if I'd have weighed at a certain time, I would have been right close to the 300 mark. But my logged in weight was 295. So let that sink in. I have also eliminated I've eliminated the anxiety medicine, I've eliminated the inflammation medicine, and I've eliminated one other medicine that I took that related is a type of anxiety that affected my esophagus. It would just start feeling like it was closing up, and it was just anxiety. So I was taking a medicine for that. I don't take that anymore either. So I've got, I don't want to say no anxiety because absolutes are kind of hard to handle sometimes. Never going to do this. Well, you end up doing it. Well, but I'm going to tell you, I don't feel the same as I used to. And I don't feel like I'm masking the anxiety anymore. It's just not there. My brain and my mind is different than it was. That's the beauty of all this, is I may have a situation that caused me some stress, but it's not going to wreck my life like it used to. And even if I have some stress, I know that the next morning I'm getting up and I'm getting in a freezing cold shower, and I'm going to do my breathing techniques, and I do one other thing that's a relaxation technique. All together, what I do is so powerful that I'm going to share it with all of you. Now, I have one of the Hof family that follows me on Instagram, and I just want to say that I appreciate everything that you guys have done. Wim, if you see this, I am forever grateful to you. And I appreciate everything that you did. Got some bikers coming by here.
How's it going?
Hey, man. That's the good thing about being out in the public area with bike trails and walking trails. There's people everywhere. Again, I'm not a professional YouTube videographer, as you can tell, but that doesn't bother me at all. I'm not going to cut that out. I've actually got to talk to a couple of people on the trails about, they would see me and go, man, you've lost some weight, haven't you? Yeah, I have. And they all think I quit eating or did something like that. Nope, take a cold shower every morning. That does the weight loss, cold shower. The breathing does the anxiety. And it's just unbelievable the benefits I've gotten off of this. So, Wim, if you hear this, which I know you're going to, forever grateful, man. Forever grateful. I'm gonna make, if you guys are interested, I want to make a detailed video on exactly what I do every morning and just lay it out. I will say this, when I first started the Wim Hof Method, his YouTube channel has come a long way since then. And I couldn't find some details on some things And I have to say this to give someone credit. Scott Carney, when you listen to this, man, I appreciate everything you've done for me too. Scott's book, What Doesn't Kill Us, unbelievable. It's the best book that I read that relates to all of this, period. I've read it 2 or 3 times. There's so much information in there that if you've been doing this for a year and you look back on that book, there's stuff in there you didn't even realize was in there. So go get Scott's book. It's not expensive. Buy it and read it. Look at it. Learn it. I don't agree with everything Scott says. Me and him are vastly different people. But he sent me a message one day and said, we all feel the same cold and we all breathe the same air. I'll never forget it. So Scott, I appreciate everything you've done for this whole community that we have. But I want to make a couple of detailed videos of things that I just never could find online that I really was wondering about. And I learned it on my own partly, and partly from talking to Scott and some other people. There's a lot of inaccurate stuff on YouTube about the Wim Hof Method. So be very careful about what you read and what you think you're doing. I've seen a lot of people that they claim to be doing the method properly, and it's not even close. It's hard to argue with no anxiety, over 30 pounds lost, and tons of medicine that I don't take anymore. That's kind of hard to argue with, so we'll let that stand for what it is. If you guys enjoyed this is my first video on YouTube. I've made some other various car-related hobby videos. But subscribe and hit the like button and write some comments. Tell me what you want to know. Share your story. You'd be surprised how many stories I read in YouTube comments that really motivated and helped me. So write them in there, not for me, for everybody else. Tell us what you've been doing. And the whole community will thank you. But most importantly, for me, if I can help one person like this has helped me, because this has given me something I never thought I would have, and that is a life without anxiety, because it was this close to putting me in a bad situation, even worse than I was in. So y'all help me get the word out. Pass this along to anybody that you think needs it. All of these people in the news talking about how much we need to help people that have anxiety or depression or other mental deficiencies. Well, let's help them, because I have them, and this helped me. It's changed every single thing about my life. People that know me well routinely come up to me and go, man, I can't believe how much different you are now. And that's in 12 months. It's unbelievable. And it didn't take the whole 12 months. I was feeling like this at 3 or 4 months into it. I mean, that's unbelievably fast. So thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry this was so long, but I had a lot to say, and I could probably fill up another 2 hours, but we'll go into that some more. If you guys are interested, let me know. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a great day. Get outside and breathe.